Hey all, Taves here, back playing some more Planet Coaster 2, and it's been a while. I had a bit of a break over Christmas, wasn't very well, but we're back in Planet Coaster 2, and I have been playing the whole time, but yeah, my voice hasn't been great. It's been a bit croaky and a bit rubbish, so haven't managed to record. Hopefully this will bring you all up to speed of where we got to. So, in the last episode, we did all this kind of entrance plaza, all this ticket in area. We've got the ticket booths on the right hand side, and then we had this kind of this plaza section that we added, and obviously in the very last episode we built the hot air balloon that you can see flying up there. That's going to stay where it is. I think I've moved it around a little bit, but yes, there's lots more to show. Lots more progress has been made. I must move that chair. I keep forgetting to move that chair. So if we go through the barriers now, you will see that we've got a bit of a start of a sort of main street going on. We've got a few rides, a few more flat rides been introduced. Loads of little details really in this one. So let's make our way down the steps. I'll keep having to remember the things that I've changed. I've changed all these little bench covers, so these seat covers are all new. You'll see those kind of scattered around as we go through. We've got this kind of new, like, pretty simple, just sort of central pillar thing, sort of focal point statue and bits and pieces. Got this new little kind of viewing area looking over this way. You can see a few rides and things. This is all pretty incomplete still. So what I'm showing you is a bit of a catch up. I'm going to talk to you about how I made the main street and some of that stuff. Oh, and obviously we'll look at things like this down here as we go. So if we make our way down here, we've got these two little, little benches that overlook that spot. I think we'll go this way first. So we had the Helter Skelter in one of the previous episodes. Put this little walk feature in, just as a bit of interest. I've been playing around a lot with all the sort of techniques and the rotation tool and all those little gizmos, trying to just learn really more about the game. So the Helter Skelter's there, it's got a little sign and everything for it now. And then this is the start really of our kind of main street. You see we've got Main Street buildings over there. We've got this big corner building, and it's all going to continue round. So, where should we start? So these two kind of corner little buildings here. This is going to probably at some point, I think I'm going to open some of these buildings up. So right now they're all closed off. Partly that's because I just wanted to get the shells done first, but also I'm hoping that we get sort of shop interiors and stuff like we've got in Planet Zoo. So at the moment you'll see there's just like desks in there. These will all get fitted out a bit at some point. But I just kind of went through and created a few different like shells and shapes of buildings, and most of these I created sort of from scratch. So you can see that like slightly different classic style. This sort of thing. It's all sort of, I think, Main Street. Obviously, if you don't know Main Street is based on like Disney, but it's supposed to be Main Street USA is supposed to be kind of like classic. I guess it's supposed to be like a dream world sort of classic American high street, which is all actually not too bad for this location, really, because this location is supposed to be sort of kind of New England-y kind of direction. So actually when I looked up the towns on the Appalachian Trail, you see quite a lot of the buildings that look quite similar to what Disney has on its main street. So we've got these two little corner buildings here, a couple of little details to point out. Actually, we've got this little, I've just kind of scattered things like this around just to give it extra sort of richness and things. So there's a little, supposed to be like one of those little sort of coin press things. So put coin in, and I've spent the time to sort of work out how this might work. So put your coin in the top there, it slides down the chute, you turn this handle and it pops out at the bottom, and it sort of stamps it with a, like you get at Disney and quite a lot of time you get at tourist attractions and that sort of thing. So this was supposed to be like a big sort of feature building. We'll just step back for a second so you can get a picture of it. This Just a Memento, as I said, is going to be my sort of main gift shop. But all completely custom built, all completely crazy on the piece count. I think it turned out all right. It's got kind of double entrance to it, so I've basically just, as you can sort of see, I fitted it out really just like basic, and it's all going to get. Oh, there's a big hole in the floor there for some reason. So it's all going to get sort of filled out at some point. There is a second entrance or exit out that way. So the idea is you can come through this if you want. Built this little lemonade stand, which is functional. So it's using one of the gulpy stands, the sort of standalone desks. So it's supposed to be that you come and buy your lemonade from there. Sort of freshly pressed lemonade. Let's go. I love the fact that they come and sit on. Actually, they do a really good job. I mean, that little girl's not doing it. It's just about to say they do quite a good job of not clipping through, but that little girl is clipping through. So let's go. I think we'll go this way first, and then I'll bring you back round. So we've got. I can't remember if I'd shown you these before, but little bin covers as we go through. This is supposed to be. This is one of those. Oh, hello. Not using the path then, guys. Oh, interesting. What happened there? So it's one of the things that I remember seeing. I don't think it's the sort of thing that you see very much anymore, and it's supposed to be a little bit of a nod to maybe older fashioned, sort of classic-y, a little bit more tired, a little bit more sort of run down amusement park. These are the sorts of things that I remember from my childhood. So basically like coin operated. You turn the wheel and you drive the little boat around, and we've got a couple that are. I think I just sort of went implied that there's a couple that are just broken and it's just doing its own thing. So like one of the steering wheels over here is turning, and a couple of the boats are moving by themselves. It was surprisingly difficult to get the path of these boats working properly. How this is working is that there is a hidden flat ride underneath, and much like I did with the hot air balloon, those little boats are actually technically attached to the track, to the carriages of that flat ride, and so they're animating around. I think that's what number 6 is doing, and it might just be that number 4 is on a rotational motion thing. So that that one back there, the orange one that's spinning round on a bigger loop, is following the track or is attached to that hidden ride that's under the ground, and then this 4 is just rotating around a central point. And then obviously there's some motion in this that's controlled by another rotation. So I just thought it was a little bit of a fun thing. Oh, and I've got the lighthouse in the centre. The light turns on that as well, in case you didn't notice that. I played around for a while with the idea that I might have this whatever this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a monster, like come up and down out of the water. But I just couldn't get it to work that great. It's very hard to get the motion particularly kind of consistent on those things. It's like actually getting things to rotate slowly is okay. Getting things to move up and down slowly is much more tricky. And then getting things to move laterally more slowly using the tools that we've got is quite tricky as well. So a lot of this way isn't done at the moment, but I'll just give you an idea of what's going to happen over here. I looked at this caterpillar ride thing for ages. So this is the Monteleone. It's supposed to be basically, the idea is supposed to be that where you see these red signs, these are these park classic rides. This is obviously all going to get dressed, and there's going to be like decoration here and probably covers for the queues and all that sort of thing. But I looked at this for ages and was like, is that supposed to work like that? I kept looking at it thinking it was some graphical glitch that as it spins round, it looked like it just kind of like glitches out. But then I looked at actually what the design of it is doing, and and it's sort of supposed to be. Looks like it's supposed to do that. It's supposed to cover over. I can't really understand what the appeal of that would be, because you'd be spinning round and then you'd basically be spinning around and not be able to see anything because you've got this weird kind of cover that comes over the top of you. It'll start in a second and we'll see what I'm talking about. So what I think I'm probably going to do with this is all going to get more decoration, because unlike, like the sort of chair spinner there, it's not really got much in the way of decoration there. So I probably will change all the colours. Just noticing there's a fire extinguisher in there. That's a nice little detail. I actually never noticed the control panel that the ride assistant's got there as well. That's pretty cool. I'm running out of patience, lady. I was going to wait, but I'm not sure I can be bothered. So let's just have a quick look at the flying chair thing, the chair spinner. So as I said, this will all get kind of blended in a bit more. All of this needs decoration. These signs need to be updated. I have sort of blended in. What I did actually with the main street, I probably should really have said this, but I've sort of got sort of curbs in here. Let's just have a quick look and see if that's. They're still not spinning. They're waiting for ages. Poor people. So I've got these sort of curbs in, and interestingly enough, so that's actually two paths at different height. But look at what they're doing there. Like, I don't understand quite how they're doing that. Technically, they're separate paths. That one's at one height, one's at another. But for some reason, they're able to walk down on it on that particular spot. Oh, here we go. This is what I mean. So to anyone that's played Planet Coaster 1, this is probably all like, what's he talking about? This is really obvious that's what it's always done. But I've never seen this before. So I just kind of, for ages. So it's all fine like that. That I can understand as would be appealing to a small child or a kid. But when it does that, I was like, what's the point in that then? How's that fun? It's a bit claustrophobic in there, surely. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to keep that. I probably will keep it, but... so Main Street itself, this is the end of the Main Street. And then you can get through... Again, all of this needs more buildings and etc. You can get through to the hot air balloon ride that way, through that section. All of the dodgems here are all going to be hidden inside a building. So if you imagine how I've got these over here, sort of continuing all the way along there, so that all of that becomes encapsulated into a building, and it's not gonna look like it's sort of. You'll be able to see through on the lower layer, but it'll all be kind of sealed inside. The continuation of this Main Street. I really like the fact, it's lagging out my game quite a lot now, but I really do quite like the fact that the balloon goes up and down behind the Main Street. I think that's really cool. So a couple more variations, and again, these will all at some point, well, the ones that can be, they'll get opened up and they'll be accessible by guests. So a couple of different variations. Love Latte, another Gusto Memento, and So Delightful. So those will get opened up at some point. And then I started to do something different with these. So as I said, most of these were like one-off builds. But I started to get to a point where I was like, maybe I can be more efficient in the way that I build these. And I experimented with a few different techniques for how I might do these. So this one in particular has a quite an interesting technique. So I'm not going to show you all of me building this, but this basically takes advantage of the mechanics of attaching objects to the rotational platform. I think it actually works for, maybe it will be the same case for all of the animation platforms. So you can see in the top right corner, you can see that it says editing moving platform rotational. So that is because everything that I've got in this building, and you'll capture a little glimpse of it occasionally at the bottom of the screen, everything I'm doing in this building is attached to the top of that rotational platform. And the reason why I'm doing that is it allows me to use the additional option that appears in the advanced move tool. So there's a little cog that appears on the advanced move tool that allows you to use mirror. So you can say, what you're seeing here be doing is effectively I'm placing one object down, and on the opposite side of that rotational platform it's being mirrored. So obviously that what that means is that I don't have to create, for a symmetrical building, I don't have to create both both aspects. I don't have to create both sides. So you can see, look, I'm only moving one of those pieces and another piece is being created for me on the opposite side of that rotational platform. Again, you can see it here. I'm placing some of these down and it's being created on the other side. So what that means is, obviously, like if you make really complicated and complex things, you only really have to worry about one side of it. So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting that you could do that. And I did a fairly similar thing on this one. So actually this side's got there's this as well. Sorry, I forgot to mention this. Yeah, so there's this little guy. And this is what I was trying to do, really. Is just have like loads of little random rich details all over the place. I really like this. I think this turned out really cool. So this is called cotton candy in America, but we us Brits call this candy floss. Unfortunately, obviously, it's too small to have a staff member standing by it. I did try for quite a long time to get a staff member just to stand on a bit of path behind some barriers, and I might carry on trying that, but they just kept disappearing for some reason. So if we go, there'll be more of that. That's probably going to be a sort of this traditional treats thing is probably going to be a bit of a like a park IP thing. So there'll be a few different ones of those. This building, I think I really liked. I wanted this idea of this being sort of like a gateway building. So this section behind here has got the big wheel, twist and spin, carousel, and a what's it called? Like a walk-up restaurant sort of thing to it. I can't remember the name. Quick serve restaurant. Oh, I can't get up that curb. Let me go round. Obviously, for me as a real guest, it's walking around like this. It doesn't let you up those curbs. But so you can go through here, and again, this is all going to have. I just thought this was quite a cool little entrance way into a new section. So this is just going to have those rides in it. Again, this all needs to be, a lot of this needs to be dressed back here, but so there's your kind of the big wheel. Then we've got this little, again, these are all probably about, maybe this whole area is about 40% of the way done. I just thought I would show you progress of it. So we've got these little different sitting areas that Chief Beef will all get probably redesigned quite a lot over there. And we've got the carousel sort of slightly up the hill there just to make it a bit more visually interesting. We've got another ride over here. I'm trying to work out what to do with the sort of backside of the main street. So you can see I've done a combination of two different things. Like these two buildings, or these three buildings, are all quite done and dressed, and they're like real looking. And then you've got these ones over here. So I can't work out whether I'm going to do sort of full detail versions of those along this side. And obviously you can see from that one that this is a slightly different, it's actually a very slightly different variation to where else have we got one of those? That one over there. So it's not massively different, but you'll see there's a slight differences between them. So that was the next technique that I got to. Like the bottom half of it is different. So if the door's in the centre there, and the that beam that goes across under the sign is different. So if you look over at that one, you'll see that the door is over on the... Oh, let's go around there. Hello, can't I get through there, game? The door is over on the left-hand side on that one. So what I ended up doing was thinking, how can I create like variations of the same building? So I don't have to like necessarily... I will probably end up building every one of these buildings differently, but I thought just for actually time saving, how can I keep them with the same building. So like that's another good example there. That one there is actually the same design, just different colours, I think, and the bottom's different. Yeah, so it's actually the door is flipped around the other way on that one over there. So how this works is using the new little kind of snap pieces. What are these actually called again? There's various different sizes of these. It took me a while to work out. Yeah, snap edge. It took me a while to work out how you actually use these, but you can see along the back here, I've got these 4 different shells. I mean, arguably those 2 in the middle are very similar to each other, but the way this works is I've got a series of different options that can slot into these holes using that snap section. So if I pick up that one, let's just pick up that section. They have to all be in the same grid, so they have to be part of the same building, basically. But if you see, I can put that in there, or I can put that in there, or I can put that in there. It's actually too big for that one, but so these 3 are all of the same size. So let's say that allows me to go, I want to put that in there. In fact, let me copy it. It's the easiest way to do it. So copy it in. Let's get just that section. Copy that in. In fact, before I do that, I'll copy this shell as well. So if I want to make a completely different variation of a similar building, what I can do is I can go, I want that one to go in there. So I'll duplicate that. And what you'll notice as well is when you're recoloring these things, I don't really understand what the logic of this is yet. And I'm wondering if maybe this is a feature that's going to get fleshed out more in the future. Like maybe we'll get a scroll bar here, but for some reason it only ever lets you change 4 colours. And it doesn't seem like there's a logical reason behind these groups, really, behind the way in which it's grouped. If someone understands that there is a logical reason to that, do explain it to me in the comments, because I haven't worked it out yet. But the trick is, if I duplicate that now, so if I take that, you'll see I've got all 4 of those purple options, and any of those purple options that I change will obviously change a number of different colours down here. So let's say we want this to be red. And I want that to be, whatever that group is, to be yellow. So that's giving me that top section. This is going to be hideous, but just for the point of, just to make my point, basically, like that, like why that's got its whole group by itself, I don't know. But let's just do that for a second. And if I look at this one, this piece over here, so this shell, again, has got 4 colours. They don't really look like they match up to this, but hey-ho. So the trick is, when you're recoloring, is to recolor the individual part before you join it together. And the reason why you see, if I do this, so if I put that in there, and remember I had 4 colours in that shell before, now if I select the whole thing, I've still only got 4 colours. And now if I change that again, see, it's changing all of it's now like basically merged all of that together. So I lose the ability to be able to individually change that section. So if I just take that back a second. So let's say we want to make a slightly different variation of this, and I've done this a few times. So let's just go like that colour. Not quite sure what exactly this is going to do. But okay, that's changing those pieces. It's not changing all of them. I wonder if it's groups. Maybe it's like group pieces, and then that's like really oddly changing just really specific things. And again, this is like not a combination of colours you'd want to use. But so then I could basically go, that can go in there. And again, I could use one of those other 2 variations if I wanted to. And then I've done, and not particularly complicated, but I've done a set of variations of the windows. So I created myself some custom windows, and again I could choose to go, double windows, both slot in there, and you can see it snap into that other snap point. Or I could go, these ones where they've got sort of double shutters, like closed shutters. So you see that I've got that one. Or I could go for another option, which is a bit of both, basically. So I'll stick that in there. So that's just a way of, so you can sort of see. I mean, it's not working perfectly because obviously, as I said, that like some of that recolouring is changed. But as you can sort of see, like I can take, it's just a really quick way of making actually fairly similar structured buildings look slightly different. So you don't have to build every single one of them unique. So obviously, if you like did a few bits and pieces to that building, and obviously you probably wouldn't put them right next to each other, but they still slightly feel like they're different buildings. Maybe if you change the name there and you change some of this decoration at the top. So that's it for this one, peeps. Hope you enjoyed that. I think this has turned out really well. Lots of work to do as ever. There's always 1,000,001 things that I'm still tinkering with. But yeah, thanks for your patience. Hopefully you'll stick around. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. My name is Taves, and I will catch you on the next one. Take it easy.